Hello and welcome everyone back to the Dumbass class with Dyslexic Gamer and my players as always, as we carry on with our Dark Heresy campaign. So, quick heads up, quick reminder. Last time our group finished their mission in the Golam Terrenia, got some useful information and made it back to their base without being truly detected. They noticed there was another force other than the Arbites who turned up, and some of the characters did guess correctly. It was the secret police. So they had some pretty shitty rolls, and their attempt to pursue the group kind of didn't really go anywhere except from round in circles. So our group got away and got back to their base. I believe Ezio is. We'll check. Yep. So Ezio is currently sat at the dining table, cleaning down the equipment that he used, and then he'll be going to bed. Mordecai has put away his demony things under his bed as he prepares to go to sleep. And Liliana went and had a drink with Tiffany. As Darius tried to go to his room and lay his head down to rest, Winters came in to check on his sister. She was doing fine according to Medicaid readings. As she turned round to leave, she felt an arm neck. Now, we rejoin the scene as basically the two siblings have noticed. How am I here? Last I remember was climbing the rope and then nothing.
Well, I don't know all the details. We brought you here after we after we left the Underhive. We carried you up and you fell from the rope.
Fell?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Maybe I didn't. I can't believe I would have.
You were hit. You were hit and you fell.
Oh. Winters. Originally, you felt quite a strong grip around your neck. Once she realised that Darius was stood in the corner of the room, she loosened her grip. As the conversation has been going on, the grip has just been getting looser and looser. Hey, Albie.
Hello. Yeah, sorry for the delay.
No worries, man.
Food was late and then family shenanigans.
We literally just started, so you haven't missed anything.
Awesome. Let's get on to it. We got heretics to purge.
Oh no.
Oh. So yeah, I'll bring up that it's probably not the nicest of things to attempt to strangle the Medicaid that just helped save your life.
She kind of takes notice of the red-robed individual in front of her, and you were... And you trust her, Darius?
Yep. Otherwise, I wouldn't be like. I looked down at myself. I kind of motioned to my fairly beat up armor, probably glass still partially sticking out of it. It wouldn't be like this if I didn't.
Her arm loosens pretty much to the point where you can walk away. Winters, it's still kind of lolling to the front of you, but there's no real power in it. But she looks at you in your Arbite's armor and I. Wait. Do you remember? Tried to kill me.
I have flashes. I wasn't in the right state of mind, to be completely honest.
I guess we've both been through hell and back. Take it. The strength in her body basically gives out at this point. She just sits down on the bed. Her arm falls next to her as she doesn't. But she's not like going into a panic attack, but it's definitely a veteran's 1,000-yard stare as she just starts staring at the floor for a moment before pulling herself back. And do you remember what I said to you?
No. The only thing racing through my head at the moment at that moment was. Well, I'll not get into it.
I would like to use the opportunity of having her awake to start getting some more thorough medical analysis going.
Cool. Yeah, you can do that. You can scan her with your Medicaid devices and the Medicaid Auspex that is part of your basically good surgical equipment. That's all like arrayed in Darius's room.
Oh, that's not for the bed now.
You know.
I don't remember what you said. But... Oh, go ahead.
You know what happened to our world.
I saw it. I was on the last ship off the planet, Cathleen.
How many? How many got away from the end?
Less than 1/10 of the entire population. Mainly civilians. A lot less of the regiments.
And how did you get off world?
My new boss, my Inquisitor, his pilot is very skilled, to say the least. Me and the remaining members of my squad got airlifted out while Hormagaunts and Termagants swarmed the. I don't even remember what it was. It was a small 2-3 story building in the center of the hive city. Sorry, I've been here too long. It wasn't even a hive, was it?
Darius,
There's not that many of them left.
you haven't been told how our world actually died?
I saw it, Cathleen. It was bombarded,
It was
destroyed.
sacrificed. The Devourer did not come for our world. No reason, Darius. We were told. It was drawn to our world.
Quick question. Yes. How much do we actually know about the Devourer?
Darius and Waldo, a great deal about the Tyranids. They both have forbidden law Tyranids. You, as a tech priest, know of the Tyranids. You know that that is one of the names, the more common names that's given to species. Genuinely, things that you'd find in the Guardman's uplift timer is common knowledge, and for you would have a little bit more knowledge, however, because you are a tech priest, in the fact that you know that they don't use technology. All of their stuff is biomechanical, which for the most part is a mystery to Mechanicus. In some parts, they know how things can produce acid, but some of the more complicated things is basically, yeah, these are parasites that live off of the Tyranids that they utilize as ammo to be. It's not 100% understood, especially where you don't have forbidden law Tyranids.
Okay, because I as a player know that the Tyranids are basically more like an unguided missile. They just go a direction until they find something. And the question is, how much does my character actually know? Because I, as a player, know a lot more.
So you would know that they head towards planets or areas of space that have large amounts of biomass. When they basically, when they go through an area, worlds are stripped of all their bio materials. You wouldn't necessarily know that they're an unguided missile or anything. Like the whole hive mind part of it, you need forbidden law to really actually understand. You might know that they have synapse creatures, that there are certain creatures that seem to control, but you don't know how or which ones are synapse. Whereas Darius and Mordecai could go, nope, there's a zoanthrope, take that fucker out. No, there's a hive tyrant, that thing needs to go. They could pinpoint ones. So yeah, only the most basic of
then I'm
things for.
not going to comment on that, because then I wouldn't know.
Oh boy. Okay. I stand there kind of dumbfounded and stare. I kind of squint and sacrifice you. I mean, we were bait.
No, as in some bastard, some rogue sacrificed our world. I don't know all the details. She takes a few deep breaths, and essentially she's going to start from a kind of the beginning. So as to not draw this out too much, essentially we're going to be starting around your backstory time. So for her, she was in a command unit. basically Central Command. She was a junior officer who was being trained for full officer roles and to be boosted through the ranks. I think at the point you were sent out, she was an officer, just a very low ranking one.
Yeah.
Her command unit, which was 400 men in total, including the officer's cadre, started getting some peculiar augur reading. This is about the time when this is a couple of days before you were deployed for your training mission. Some really weird augur readings coming from the station, and when this information was passed on, so augur operator sent her the information, she sent it to her officer above her, and it got sent on. The date that you get deployed, she says that all information was wiped. There is no record of these strange augur readings coming from both planetary defense station, the satellites around a planet that will basically there to detect ships coming in and out of warp, as well as strange readings on planet. So when your unit first engages with the Tyranids, her command unit had most of its information silenced. So the information that was coming into them now looked as if it had been filtered. When your unit has engaged, so about a day, 12 hours after you've been engaged, and reports are coming in that the Tyranids have or a unknown enemy has landed on world and has engaged the PDF forces, a strange group comes into the command chamber. It tells you immediately that there was something very suspicious about them, because it was one person in very ornate armor with a tech priest and a number of other individuals who all looked uniformed. Immediately, the rumors of the Inquisition being on world spread. So as the engagement carried on, she noticed that the information coming into the command center started coming in full again. It wasn't being filtered at this point. And she was taking her reports through the normal officer cadre, the hierarchy of command. But after, I think it was 3 days into the operation against the Tyranids, the world knows the enemy. The command are trying to put up defenses and trying to buy time until the Imperium can come to their aid, which is the normal protocol for the PDF. At this point, officers are going missing. The upper echelon of officers, so all 35 of the highest ranked officers in the command unit, have gone. And all the reports of them that have come in have said it's been Tyranids, or it's been an unknown assailant, and all the autopsy reports have been clearly Tyranid attacks. But this is in the center of, this isn't a command base, this is in the center of your world's command hub, or one of the outlying command hubs, where the gentry. And this is for her, she was very on point. This put alarm bells up. One, how the fuck are the Tyranids getting in? Two, why are they targeting the officer cadre? And at this point, the oversight from the Inquisitorial team, although they haven't properly designated themselves as that, have taken more and more control over the command of the PDF forces. And it's at this point where things start going really weird. Like so she says this, and again, a few days have gone past at this point, so she's no longer in her ornate armor with the helmet on. She's taken the helmet off. Describes an incredibly beautiful woman, like gene sculpted beauty, yet with an aura of authority and a dignified nobility stance to her. She your sister definitely got the feeling she was high nobility, just from how she acted and talked. It's at this point that they're also talking more and more around what's left of the younger officers. And she's also, the quote-unquote Inquisitor, is also deploying the units, the PDF, in very peculiar ways. Rather than trying to slowly, buy time, she's pulling the forces back from certain areas, and then so your world had a quote-unquote elite PDF force. Elite for a PDF world. They had like guard armor, or they had these like a bit of carapace here and there. All of these units were all being taken and being requested by this, again, quote-unquote Inquisitor. So she was pulling back from strategic locations to have the Tyranids swarm in, and then she was pushing the elite troops back into the engagement to try and do something with her inquisitorial acolytes, with the other individuals that were sent on missions. The casualty rate was astounding. Essentially, all of the PDF elite's troops were, in her eyes, just wasted, just absolutely thrown into pointless combats. And it's about a week in to the defense of Phonos that the quote Inquisitor is starting to talk more and more urgently. So she gets the first feeling that something major is going on when the Inquisitor turns to the tech priest that's been basically overseeing all of the information that's been coming in. And she's incredibly curious about what the readings are. What did we find? How was the device planted? And the information goes over her head. Like, what the tech priest says is just really beyond her understanding. But Winters, if you roll your Forbidden Law Adeptus Mechanicus, unfortunately there is a -20 to the roll. You might understand what little bit she can remember, and you might be able to put some together. Glorious.
I'm good.
Jesus, okay.
You get the idea, Winters, and you're not 100%, but some of the things that she repeats, you're like, well, that sounds like a subspace thing, like I don't know, maybe a beacon, or maybe a listening device, or maybe a really advanced sensorum that's there to pick up more detailed bio data about the Tyranids, or maybe it's. But the more like snippets that come out, the more you think, well, like a pulse, like an emergency pulse beacon. But why would, like, you get a little bit lost as to, and a few of the words she, like, you're sat there like, wait, no, I think she means this. Yeah, you're getting the idea it's a pulse beacon, some description. And then it's at this point that things start, like more information starts getting put forth about, so we need to defend this area. We can't let this area fall until objective Delta is reached. But we can't get to objective Delta if Alpha falls, so we have to move more. And she's moving forces away from strategically defensive locations, but this time not just defensive locations. These are like critical areas. Agricultural, food supply areas, water, treatment plants, electrical plants. She's moving forces away from these critical locations to defend areas which, given her, it was pretty good when she actually started getting taught the officers cadre. And to her, it just made no sense unless there was something there that she didn't know about. So again, we're like in a week of the planet's fight to survive. It's like a day later that things start turning worse. So as she states it, so for your reference, this is about 2 days before the planet actually falls. It's about 2 days before you're saved from the Inquisitor's pilot by the Inquisitor's pilot. They're all in the command console. The quote-unquote Inquisitor and the tech priest and her acolytes are not in command console, which is really weird. Like, this is the first time it's happened since she's taken command. And then all of a sudden, without any alarm whatsoever, even though the command console, the command centers have basically vibration alarms. If something tries to dig into a command center, alarms go ringing. A hole appears, and Tyranids start swarming in to the command center. This is where a number of the junior officers and their comrades basically die. She basically puts up a good account of how so she's in the middle of the command center. Over to the right, that the hole emerges. By the time she gets the rest of the officers to get a defensive line to fall up, basically 1/3 of the command center's crew are massacred. It's at that point that the Inquisitors, again, quote Inquisitor, comes into the command center, all guns blazing. This time she has her helmet on. But when the doors open, Cathleen would mention no alarms throughout the base. Nothing. Her crew come in and make short work of the Tyranids that got inside. It's at this point that she informs what's left of the command cadre. The planet is falling. We are evacuating. There is utter shock that goes through the command center because they shouldn't be falling now. They should have lasted longer than this. Kronos was not the weakest world out there, and yet, because of her, the planet has definitely fallen faster. However, she informs the group that all exit routes have been cut off. There's no way for the command center to actually evacuate. And that's when your sister mentions that there was a really sickening feeling. Like, there was just, she felt this real unease and tingle up her spine as another individual walked into the command center. She was very finely dressed, jewelry on every finger, but she had a really sick look about her, like an ill look about her, someone who'd been like under massive strain. She says that this before not seen woman comes in, and the commander, quote-unquote Inquisitor, informs what's left of the command staff that she will get all of them out. She will not sacrifice them here. That there is a greater duty for these soldiers to commit to. Basically giving an inspirational speech as the Psyker opens up a gate of infinity. So she's gobsmacked, she's sickened by this Psyker that's done this thing, and everyone's basically on the same wavelength because Phonos was not fond of Psykers. So most of the command are just shocked, disgusted. But through this long black corridor, they can see a way out. And the Inquisitor, along with the Psyker, go first. The Tech Priest is next. But there's a couple of acolytes who are basically Stormtrooper-esque characters. They actually bring up the rear. And all of who's left in the command center are ushered through this gate. Cathleen, as she describes going through it, she's just like, the smell just hit me like a brick. Just this sweet, rotting scent that just cut me to the core. Because as she was going through this corridor of nothingness, she kept feeling as if faces were leering at her in her peripheral vision. About halfway along the corridor is when she started hearing screaming coming from behind her, as soldiers were just ripped from the corridor out into this nothingness, only to have their screaming faces like push through the nothingness, and just a visage of a blank screaming face was left. The Inquisitor, the Psyker, and the Tech Priest had all exited by this point. And the Inquisitor, well, quote-unquote Inquisitor, was shouting to the men and women coming through to hurry up. The enemy is closing the way. We must move now. Move your feet. As almost a stampede happened of just everyone trying to get out of the tunnel. But she says it was as if they were running towards it and it should have got closer, but it wasn't. And a fear ran through her that she's never felt before finally getting out onto the other side into this huge hangar. And by the time she took count of the men who were remaining, about 50 of them had been lost, had been pulled through, and yet the two Stormtrooper-esque characters followed up behind at a leisurely jog. And this is where the next, for her, like the next bizarre thing happened. She looked around this huge hangar, warehouse, and no, it was a hangar. There were there were 3 Argus landers and 4 gun cutters. But that wasn't the most outrageous thing. There were over 800 elite EDF troopers. Many of them battered, many of them, their armor's been ripped off, many of them have wounds and so on, but there are 800 elite troops that look like they've just been on R&R in this hangar, just recovering. There's a lot of murmuring between, like, even she's doing it. Like, she's pulled her closest comrades who are alive and be like, you know, what the fuck's going on? What is this? And that's when finely dressed woman, the woman, the quote-unquote Inquisitor, has stepped forth and addressed them all. I am an Inquisitor of Ordo Hereticus. We were tasked to find a rogue Inquisitor, a man who has disgraced the God Emperor and the calling of the Inquisition. He has sacrificed your world. I have failed to save it. I am so sorry. There is nothing I can do except from save the few of you that I can. He has used your world for his games, his tricks. And I need men and women who are willing to fight against him. He is powerful and has many resources at his disposal. But with you brave men and women, she gestures round to the command staff and the elites. You will have to be the ones to take revenge for your world. I know this will be difficult for you. Many of you are going to lose loved ones this day. But know this. Bonos will forever live in your hearts. And I will do everything in my power to ensure that all of you are settled on a new world where you can rebuild once again. But the God Emperor has called you now for this final duty. We must all stop heretical Inquisitor Magnus Bloodstone, who has been deemed excommunicatus traitoris. But his agents still remain in the Inquisition, and we will find no allies there. Not until we can succeed in our task. I have secured these landers. You and your equipment, and we can save others, we will. But in the next 24 hours, you will be off-world as fallen. As it would have fallen, will have fallen by then. So, Visitor ends her speech. However, there are no cheers. There is just dead silence. As this atmosphere of dread and doom seems to fall over all that remains in their minds of the Phenosians. Phenosians. That's the one. That's all that's left of the Phenosians. Sorry, I got my maths wrong, so I need to. Why didn't I pick a number that was easily divisible? You twat. So that is. Fuck it. So there's 215 men and women left of the command, and there are 800 wounded troops. They are all loaded onto different ships, but she points out that they're broken up from squads. Like, men are just taken away from their friends, put with new units, and then put onto these different ships. And she also points out that there's too much space. With this many Argus? Yeah, Argus. With this many Arguses, plural, they could save more. They could save a lot more. But when she's placed onto her Argus, she says that the conditions were incredibly cramped. So if it's 200, oh damn it, no, that's a pain. Well, fuck. So there's about 333, something like that, Phenosians on this ship, but the space that they're allocated is tiny. And this is basically when the end of her story of getting off world. there are no more civilians that get picked up. There are no more troops from, like the Inquisitor said there may be. She doesn't see the Inquisitor again for quite some time. But she will like inform you of what was going on after then. She's been doing inquisitorial work. Groups have been sent off to do missions, to guard objectives, to watch things. And the last world she was sent on, or was placed on, was a mining world, overseeing construction of a bridge.
Wait, she was sent to oversee the construction?
Defend it. Yeah, they were the defense force to defend, and she's like obviously the second to last mission, because the last mission was to get the Archaeotech.
Yeah.
But yeah, she says,
I will shoot Darius a very meaningful glance.
I've been getting progressively more and more angry throughout this, by the way. And of that,
Hang on a second.
yeah.
The dollars just dropped. She was fucking supposed to. We saved her bloody ass. Didn't we?
We did save her, yeah.
kind of not.
Well, then he can't whine about being shot.
No, she kind of accepted that fairly quickly. Oh yeah, I got shot. Oh.
Fuck. Hang
I
on.
mean, this was all out of character, by the way.
Yeah,
Just for
otherwise, otherwise you'd be at the dinner table going.
Don't
"Fuck!"
forget, she also got fire blasted a bunch of times, but she forgot about that.
Yeah. God damn it! I didn't actually save the name of that fucking planet.
I can get that. So no, she does know that she was like she's got burn things on her like gel skin or whatever it is in terms. So she knows that something happened. Fire was involved. She remembers that Darius tried to kill her. Like, oh.
And that's probably gonna stand out the most because yeah, little brother.
Yeah, it'll be the emotional hit, not the
Yeah.
psychic hit.
When something emotionally hurts you so much, it kind of burns in your heart.
It's not the
Darius is
outside burns
white.
that matter. It's the inside.
Yeah.
Last Torren was the mining world.
Yeah, and it had was it nicknamed the Spark or the?
No, it had an effect called the Crackle.
The Crackle. So yeah, Darius is standing at the end of the Medicaid bed. Like I said, he gets getting progressively more and more angry, and to vent that, he's grappling on to like the handle. You know the way you have like the handle to push around the bed at the base.
Yep.
Just holding that. At this point, they are white knuckled, and
I would like to ask her before Darius can do anything stupid. I would like to ask her.
Too late.
Did you see what kind of materials and what kind of technology they were using to build the bridge? Specifically, the house to control the bridge.
We didn't see exactly what was going on, but we escorted all the containers, all the materials down, and I noticed one of the boxes was different. It had script all around the side, and the tech priest who was servitors were carrying it. He was from her retinue. He was with us on the last mission as well.
What kind of robes was this tech priest wearing? Like coloration, any symbols, markings?
The only thing I really noticed was odd that his cog was different. It looked more organic, like the ring. But I don't really take much notice otherwise. I'd never seen a tech priest have a changed cog like that.
The air around Winters is getting noticeably warmer as her processors are running at maximum power.
So I'll give you Winters, that as a member Mechanicus would know of the dark mechanics. You would have some basic knowledge on them, particularly some of the iconography of them. This doesn't stand out immediately as like one of the ones that was, 100%. If you see this symbol, annihilation, bring it to 0, the whole spiel. But the way that she's describing that the cog around the sacred 24 teeth, because I believe it's the 12 paths, or is it 8? Yeah, I can't remember now. It's either 8 or 12 paths.
There's 12 cogs.
Yeah.
12
12 teeth.
Cog.
Yeah, 12 teeth, and that's for the so then it's for the 6 paths. Like 6 good ones, 6 bad ones. For that to be made to look like flesh organic, that definitely worries you. As no true frattery of the Adeptus Mechanicus would blaspheme against the hallowed cog. The skull gets changed from time to time depending on the ordo, in how it's drawn, but for them to blaspheme against that definitely puts you in warning mode. Virus detect. But I did hear what I was. So it was something to do with an effect the world was going to have. It would make a Regia. Oh, that was it. Make a Regia Culta. I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna look over at Darius. What does he look like right now?
Angry. Not scowl, kind of like usual. Heavy scowl, gripping the bed itself with very tight white knuckles. Kind of gritting his teeth, and you can kind of hear his foot tapping.
Was something else. I haven't travelled through stars before, but a lot of my friends died. A lot of them. Suicide, mainly, which I understood. We'd lost our world for Emperor's sake. All our family, loved ones. It made sense, but got close to one of my subordinates. I know it was against the rules, but so much stress. We wanted to feel alive. found him with his guts cut open and with a name carved into his flesh. Ashen King. And I don't know why he would have done that. Me and him were keeping each other's pain. But then, en route to this world, found him. No one seemed to care. There's a few of us left who still seem to have our wits about us. I don't know if I'm no Medicaid, and I don't know if it's just the stress of what's happened or it's something else. The men who carried his body out of there was no ceremony. There was no love for a fallen brethren. Nothing. Some of
You've
the
been
men...
used, Cathleen.
What?
You've been used.
I'm going to look her in the eye and just ask, you serve the Imperium of Man in the Inquisition,
Of
correct?
course. Yes.
No.
I'm just going to look over at the Reyes and say, we have to tell her.
You were marked as a heretic in the Inquisitorial logs.
What? Impossible! He almost tries to rise before holding on the scar tissue from the burns, pulling as she... It's impossible!
It's true. And
That bridge.
Magnus did destroy our world, but through a conclave of his peers. They voted whether or not to cyclonically torpedo the world. I've had more time to read up on things above my station. I was barely a corporal when I left, and I've read many tactics of the Imperium, and you know what? Exterminatus on a world that was plagued with Tyranids. It hurts, but it is sanctioned.
That can't be. What?
Kathleen, the bridge you oversaw construction of. We were there. We saw it in effect. That was not good.
It
That
brought
was...
Tyranids to that world.
Did what? There is shock and pain going through her expression at the moment as she's just in disbelief. No. We were told that Inquisitor... we were told Magnus had allies. They must be behind this.
No. Your Inquisitor. She's the one that must be rogue. She's the one it spoke of. The host.
If it's so, and she has this large of a force. Oh, we're in such deep shit.
I don't know how many of us still remain. How is... She showed us her Inquisitor seal. She's been supplying us all this time. How could someone have that kind of resources? Darius walked into our command chamber and took command.
Did she at any point verify the sigil?
I mean, I never saw it. I wasn't Officer, yes, but I'm no one in.
Who would have had the right to ask of her to show this sigil?
I mean, planetary governor, the commander, the overall commander of the PDF.
And what happened to him?
I don't know.
You said it yourself.
His orders stopped.
One of the first to die. Cathleen, she killed our world.
I'm a traitor? Darius, I am loyal.
Stay there. I'm going to the door. I'm forcing it open and I'm shouting, Mordecai!
Yeah,
I
coming.
think you're being summoned.
I had to make sure my mic was on.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, hang on. No. It reconnected successfully, apparently.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Oh my god, we're still live. Things are still. How is this? Oh, never mind. It's still green.
Nuffle protects. Nuffle protects.
So, I was gonna say, so Ezio's just there, like, just put it together, his rifle, just right, perfect. Time for bed as the door swings open and Darius is like, Mordecai! He's like, whoa, fuck.
I imagine I let the screwdriver drop on my toe.
Does it sound more like he needs help or he's pissed?
I'm fucking yelling that. Probably the last time you heard me this angry was in the Underhive.
I'm leaving my sword at the door. I'm not taking that with me.
I have to ask, do we all hear the screaming?
I mean, if you're in your room, you're soundproofed, aren't you?
So you are
Not in the
downstairs.
bar.
I'll say, give me a awareness check, Jim. At least a -20. I'm going to say a -30 because you are downstairs. In the club's not actually open at this hour. People are gone. It's just the acolytes drinking, but still.
Yeah, no, one moment. -30. I don't believe I passed. No, I didn't.
Holy shit! Okay. A target
That's a
of
target
five.
of 5. Holy shit.
I mean, it's a -30. Come on.
It is a very difficult
Yeah.
challenge.
Right. Mordecai, I know you've been reading strange books. I need you to check her. Check her soul. Check her for anything.
Okay. I just look. It's like, does she know about me?
Check her.
Okay. Step in. I have no idea what this test would be, by the way. I guess omniscience. But I just say hi.
Effing mutant! I remember you.
You do remember me. Great.
He's also
anger.
the only person right now that might be able to check if you are corrupted by the warp. It sounds like you were traveling in a ship without a Geller field, Kathleen.
There's anger that goes through her, but the fact that Darius has called you in is the thing that's kind of keeping her where she is. Darius, he's the one who burnt me.
I know.
Can you trust him?
He saved my life more than a few times.
complete faith in my brother. Do anything other than check me.
He does anything, I have a bolt pistol, and I blow his own brains out. I'm sorry, Mordecai, but I need to know.
No. Just
She like
I'll
braces
do my
herself
best.
as if she's about to be raped. She's like proper like, it's coming. I'm about to be violated.
Put a baby in me with his mind.
Could do that. Oh God, Emperor, please.
So I don't know what this
Essentially,
Could it be-
Waldo, there's no way for you to actually check someone's corruption level. Like you can't, as far as I'm aware, at the very, you can't just check someone and go, oh, they've got 40, they've got 30, so on and so forth. You can look at her soul. You can look at her and see if she's possessed. That is something that is doable, because you would see that there's something up with her. However, it is a difficult. It'd be a -30 Psyniscience, but you can take your time to get a +10.
Yeah. Sounds good. I just need to check one thing. Because the name of this psychic power implies it could be useful here, but I just need to check the wording on it. Enemy Beyond, why are you such a long ass book with not
If it's the one that basically needs corruption bonus to work, I think that does do damage.
Yes, it does, which would be the problem with it.
Yeah.
But it's more as a
I
backup.
mean, you could consider something like
But yeah, I
the
will.
ancient. We will torch you. If you're being torched, it's a sign you're evil.
Yeah, that's essentially his backup plan. I just checked it, and yeah, you're right. It would be a way of doing it, but that's his backup plan. But yeah, he'll definitely be taking his time with it. So did you say that was a +10 overall, or
No, so that was a +10 to it, so it'd be a -20 10.
-20? Okay. We'll be re-rolling if it fails. Did not fail.
Okay.
It passed him pretty well.
3
3
degrees of
degrees.
success. That's pretty good. So as you
Go on, violate her.
as you check her over, it's a bit, you get a little bit weirded out the fact that she is so tense and yeah, it looks like she's about like fucking hell, not that evil. Okay. Look into the warp and you really study her and try to get as good a glimpse at her soul as possible. The energy that comes off of her is really light and bright. Much like a lot of people, it doesn't seem as if there's anything wrong with it. And as you're like looking to see, okay, have psychic techniques been used? Has her mind been affected by? You notice that it has. Very slightly. It seems as if someone put a power on her. It's not still active. You still get the like taste of it, the essence that something was used on her. With 3 degrees, you've got enough to know that it's to do with like fuddling the mind, to make certain facts become distorted. But again, it seems like it was a power used a while ago, but is still just lingering. Quite strong though, for it to linger on. It's, for there still to be traces. It was a strong psyker who performed the psychic technique. But as you're like, she doesn't look like as far as you can tell, she doesn't look possessed. It doesn't look like there's anything still active on her. But you can tell that psychic techniques have been on her somewhere much. Actually, with 3 degrees, you get a rough idea. You're talking maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks or so, in that kind of time range.
Okay, so that was a little before we fought her, then, wasn't it? Not
Yes.
much before.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, after I probably focused for a bit, like trying to blot out, like, Jim not Jim, sorry, Liliana in the other room, probably the lingerings that's still on Winters, and from when I cast my power on her, just pushing through that, and eventually I just say, I think she's clean. She's no different, really, than the average person. But someone has used a power on you. Not one of mine. I am very physical with my powers. Sorry again. But someone warped your mind. Someone strong. For it to still be lingering, it tasted almost like just before our altercation with your group a few weeks ago.
When did you last see that psyker?
I think I'm not entirely sure how long. So it's been 7 days since I was in the Underhive. Okay. Well, we came onto the world. Everything was kind of, it was weird. We were in civilian garb. We had to get onto the world clandestinely.
See, I might read it.
Although we had so much equipment with us and boxes, we got on world, and then we held up somewhere in the upper spire, I think. We didn't travel that long once we got on world. But then when we went to the Underhive, wow, that was like a day travel, or more. But we had a meeting. There was about 40 of us. Phenosians, I mean, on world. We had been divided into different task groups. We were given different objectives, but we weren't told each other's objectives. My group, it was a little strange. All my group were the ones who kept their heads. Everyone else, the 1,000-yard stare doesn't really do it justice. Some of them had real mental problems. They were suffering and shouldn't have been operational. Should have been taking R&R, but they were divided up. We were told that our mission was to go with the tech priest. That there was some sort of archaeotech on world, something that could bring Magnus to justice, something that could maybe even give us a chance to claim a world. You know, the Inquisitor said it was vitally important, and the tech priest wouldn't shut up about it. Kept saying it was a miracle of the machine god, and that filthy mutant have their hands on it, and the other members of the cult wouldn't know what to do with such a wonder, and said another word. Said it was a glory of the machine gods. Not... Oh. He said it could make another dimension. An X-dimate space? Something like that. Said it was important. An X-dimate space could change everything. I don't know what he was on about. But
in extremely simplified terms, a place outside of the normal flow of time.
kind of. Also known as a pocket dimension.
Yeah, Winters is saying this to her.
Yeah, no. That's really, really. I'm quite surprised. That is. He said it was vitally important. And when we saw those mutants, we could finally an enemy we could hate. We could release some of our vengeance on for what happened to us, and then... Oh yeah. Why would there guard in the Underhive? That was surprising. Really surprising.
They were survivors who fought the great enemy on this planet before.
Knew there was something.
And the price of fighting and dying for the Emperor was mutation.
She does an Aquila on her chest. We... Oh no. And we killed them. Well...
So, not all.
I'll be honest, Darius. When I saw the uniforms, I panicked. We stopped trying. I ordered the men to suppressing fire, to keep them down, to not aim for the guard, but keep them back. And I saw them giving orders to the mutants, though. It... I didn't understand it, and then the tech priest told us that he'd got the artifact. There was so much blood and this weird popping sound. He took 2 stormtroopers in with him. Heard them shooting and things screaming. And then the mutants. Right.
Psychers.
Oh, Emperor, so that was the... But... We gave the enemy what they needed. Yeah. We have sinned against the God Emperor. We have aided his enemies. Darius, I'm so sorry. We'd set up those debt packs to keep everyone back. I had no idea you were even alive, and now it turns out that our Inquisitor's the one who's heretical. We've been aiding the enemy all this time. Oh no. my men, they're still aiding her.
Our people.
How do I make this right?
Where is her base? Where is the...
In the upper spire. I didn't see much. All the windows were blacked out everywhere we went through, but I remember when we were moving out, they opened the door and to the garage, and I was the last one in the vehicle. And I got a glimpse of outside, and everything was beautiful. All the stonework, the marble. They had there was a cathedral. I remember seeing the cathedral in the distance. It was a long way off. She looks like she's racking her mind, trying to remember details of, just looking out of a garage door. Only thing I remember seeing is the damn cathedral in the distance and the white stone. It was definitely all white stone and a perfectly manicured garden. Like the grass was immaculately green. I had never seen anything like that green. No. Wait, no. There was a symbol. There was a symbol on the furniture. Family crest. She almost looks like she's trying to slow her breathing and really concentrate on picturing image. It looked a little bit like there was a shield. Emperor, why was it so worn? There was a shield, and on the shield there was a symbol like and she she was in her guard fatigues. So she gestures to the Phenosian guard symbol, where it would have like so if you were from an agri world, it would have maybe a wheat ear or an apple or something to I know I've said that wrong.
Yeah, signify the word.
The world, yeah. So a savage world, maybe there's a Carnifex on there, or a different type of predator.
Carnifex. Oh, okay.
A Carnodon, that's the one I was meant to say. Big cat motherfucker. Big feline. So she gives a description of what she thinks it was, and it starts to eke out at wait. You've seen that symbol before.
It's the agricultural guild, isn't it?
Indeed. It is the markings of the ridiculously long named ship. It is the Santa Fe Agrifria Resource Transportation Guild.
I have some more questions regarding this. Do you know of a name or anything? Like, did she call the tech priest by a name or anyone else?
Yes, the tech priest, his name was, as I look at the name list, there he is, Noskri, Magos Noskri. That's I'll embarrass myself. Why not? I'll put in all the world to see, and someone could be like, "No, that's not how you say it." This. Oh, that's said like this. It'll be like,
That's great, yeah.
oh,
If you translate it into Finnish, it's Noska like a
goodness.
Excuse me? Do you need a
Does
pill?
Does the name Luminous ring any bells?
I've heard it. I heard it. I don't remember. I know the name. I can almost picture. I don't know where. The name. I don't feel very well.
No.
I think I.
No.
She froze up at the side of the bed. Fortunately, the backside.
Winters?
Alligators shouldn't be a medical thing. And I just tap the side of the head like, probably residual? I don't fucking know.
But you are a master Karajan, so as you like look round at the medical instrumentation, you'd notice that her stats are going up. Like her temperature is starting to rise, her blood pressure is rising, her heartbeat has sped up, and as you like look, take up the scroll of paper that's been printed out of it because it's fucking 40k. You look back and you could almost time it to the point where you say luminous or lumen, and it almost correlates in as soon as she says it, like starts thinking about it, her pulse and everything starts going up.
Oh no. I have a suspicion.
I'm going to her side and I'm grabbing the hand and holding it now. Oh, calm down. Just breathe.
Oh,
Just breathe. Just breathe.
remember.
Okay.
Darius, her eyes have like crossed for a while as she looks really spaced out, but does seem to be regaining. Like she's not getting worse.
I'm just going to say to Darius, get her to think about something else. And I would like to examine her for any surgical scars around the head area.
How much do you hate psychers?
Oh.
No. Kathleen, don't worry. Finn made it too. He's out there.
Finn's alive.
Finn made it too.
Thank you, Emperor. Thank you. She starts weeping, clutching.
Now, Kathleen, you just need to lie here for a little bit. Get some more rest. Winters will look after you. And I'll be back in a few minutes. At this point, I'm gonna do what my dad always did. I'll count the night nice. I'll let you know.
I'll be nice. Mordecai, your Sinisience, -10.
Yeah. I was going to ask if I could do a Silesians, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Jesus.
Okay, it is just a success, but you didn't actually need much more. A power has activated on her. You're not sure how this is exactly possible. You were sure it was, fading. It seems that little flavour that's still left has just spurred into life, and her mind is being clouded. It's not enough degrees to know much more, but given what Winters is looking at, what's been said, and you can pretty much put to it, whether you're a clever lad, that yeah, it seems to be trying to hide this person.
Arius, I'm not sure how they've done it, but the leftovers of the power, it's whatever was used on her, it's holding that knowledge.
That's okay. I don't care right now. Can you make sure she's stabilized?
I don't.
I'll be honest, at this point I just want a sign from the Emperor, so I'm going to get changed and I need to go for a walk.
Oh, joking. Like, Darius, you're my sign.
What?
My sign. You and Finn made it. Both still here. Thought I was the last one. Thought I was having to revenge all of you, including Ma and Pa, and now I find I've been deceived. You two are still here. God Emperor can't be punishing me if you two are still here.
So I want you to get some rest, Kathleen. Just get some rest. We'll get this sorted out.
She does look very exhausted and like she's been up. Basically, when she threw up, it seems as if that like all of her strength to hold, the soldier's way of holding back wounds, giving her, I can carry on even though your guts are hanging out. That's all gone now, and she looks really exhausted, tired, and doesn't really fight. As she lies down in bed, the covers go over her, and within a few moments, keeping safe.
All right. I do want to do what I said, by the way. I want to get changed into casual gear, and I want to go looking for some birds. Yeah. I know it sounds strange, but it would be something from his past at the very least.
That's fine. So as and Winters, you can see that her stats, blood pressure, and everything, basically after Darius told her that Finn was alive, they all returned to normal. We'll say 40k madness. There's a stat there that tells that she is just sleeping. It seems like you can tell her fatigue levels have increased.
Okay. I would like to set something up so if she wakes up again or something happens to her, I get woken up, and then I'm just gonna relax a little, get some sleep as well.
Yep, sure. You were able to do that. The Medicaid auger array. Because I was thinking about this last time. You can't technically detach your auger because it's part of you, but the Medicaid has an auger, Medicaid auger attached to it. So you can set that one up to detect if she.
I mean, last time I was going to use my own because that can detect movement.
Yeah, but
And if she moves, she must be awake, right?
I don't think you can detach it from yourself.
I don't need to if I'm in the room.
Oh well, yeah, but this isn't your bedroom.
I don't care.
Yeah, true. I mean, if you don't care, then you could just sit there and power off. But you can. When I was thinking about it, between episodes, you can set the Medicaid auger to do that for you, because it'd be like when a patient rips gets out of bed, or the alarm for in critical wards when the patient's stats start to drop. So there would be that kind of alarm, and you're basically the doctor attached to all the equipment, and you're a fucking tech priest, so you could probably have overlays on your eyes come up and be, the patient is dying. The patient is dying. Move quickly, Medicaid. Okay, so as you know, Winters and Mordecai see Cathleen go to sleep, and Darius, being the typical guard, stripping butt naked there and into casuals, kind of turning to walk out. I do need to just ask Darius, are you taking any weapons with you?
Oh, I'll have my usual grab bag, so I've got.
Yeah,
I've probably got a pistol or two in the bag.
It's all in your bag. It's all hidden. So yeah, no problem. No worries there. So, looking about perfect time to end the episode. Is that consensus between the group?
Jesus, is it already that late?
We did start late, to be fair.
We did. 1 hour and 35 minutes has actually flown by. So.
All things considered, that went really well. Watch me fuck it up next time.
I'm depressed.
Are you impressed that she didn't fuck up?
No, I'm depressed.
Oh, sorry.
You're always depressed.
True, but still. Oh, fuck.
An espresso?
So, the last part we'll finish off. So as Darius leaves building, Liliana, you would notice, as you and Tiffany are sharing a drink together, that someone comes down and very quickly walks out of the building. You're pretty sure it's Darius, but he looks like he's a man on a mission, kind of.
He looks like Darius.
Yeah,
kind of depressed, looking to blow off some steam. So I don't think, especially since I'm drinking, I would automatically think something's up. So it's been a difficult day.
So Darius, as you walk the mid-high, you're planning on just burning off some steam, and as you said, you're looking for some birds?
Yeah. I don't remember if I've actually seen birds in the hive. I don't even know if they are actually.
Probably are some.
Some kind of like.
I have to ask: are these birds the type that tweet, or are these birds the type that Tiffany used to work protecting?
No, I mean birds as in the actual birds.
Okay, that's making sure.
So as you walk the streets, Darius, the hive never sleeps. Although there are lulls in the activity from time to time, and it does seem as if you're in one of the lulls. The morning shift has not begun, the night shift ended at this point. But there's still people on the street. Different food vendors who are restocking, ready for those workers who finish their night shift and want some food and drink, and those bars that are closing down because they're not going to have any more tomorrow. There's also the founding celebrations, so there are still areas where you can see servitors going round and putting up bunting and trying to make the place. It's not great bunting, but they're trying to make the place look festive. And for a while, your thoughts take over you. The information just seems to be going through your mind, and you almost go on autopilot. for a while, and you don't even notice that there's a couple of your gang members who are walking back from a Lady of the Night, or maybe they're walking too, not quite sure, but they notice you, but you just don't notice them as you're caught up in thoughts. And finally, maybe from exhaustion, maybe you've just processed enough information, kind of get to a crossroads in the street, just looking almost like you said for a sign. Look to your right, and another long street. This hive, kind of bleak and depressing when you're underneath and there's no sky, and you can see the lights are all on the street lights, and look to your left, and on the stream, I know I've done the opposite. I'm dyslexic. Shut up. You look to your left.
I don't think dyslexic has to do with left or right.
Which is actually to my right. And you look down the street, and again, whilst there are lights, it's kind of bleak, and just don't. Almost your soul seems to be dying at that. Your sisters was put through all of that, whilst you look straight ahead. As you look straight ahead, not only do you see a golden aquila across the street, part of the celebration parade, something on top of the aquila, something metallic. It's there with its claws gripping the aquila. Lights from the mid-hive are not great, but you can see it reflecting of tiny strips of metal. And as you look, for some reason, feel as if the path ahead, stick to the path. But you look up, and this metallic thing spreads its wings. Its red eyes peering down streets below. See the metal tail feathers adjust as its wings flap, and it takes off through the skies of the underhive, quote unquote sky. And that is where maybe a bit of hunting in something, maybe something I had in my back pocket. Because the group did say many sessions ago, some of them have never seen an eagle and don't know what one is. Huh. So I certainly hope you've enjoyed this slightly shorter episode and are looking forward to the future episodes to come, where I'm sure the group are going to be discussing some things, trying to pull some strings around and connect some dots and see what they find. So yes, thank you all so much for watching. I've truly enjoyed part of the session. Hope you take care, everyone, and as always, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.